Unfortunately, the committee could not agree on a bipartisan way forward, and no CIA personnel were interviewed by the committee during the course of the investigation. This was unusual. In the vast majority of cases, SSCI's congressional reports have been the result of collaborative, bipartisan investigations. Over the course of my career, I have seen the value of the committee's reviews. Even on politically sensitive matters, such as the SSCI's investigation into the intelligence failures regarding weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, the committee succeeded in producing a report that was supported unanimously. In that case, the committee reviewed tens of thousands of documents and conducted interviews with more than 200 officers from the intelligence community, some of whom were interviewed up to 4 times. This week, the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence released the executive summary, findings, and conclusions of its study of the agency's former detention and interrogation program. Vice Chairman Chambliss, joined by 5 other senators, also released the minority views. The authors clearly worked very hard to produce a report of this magnitude. Over several years, they sorted through over 1 million documents provided by the CIA, and their commitment to the task is obvious. Although we view the process undertaken by the committee when investigating the program as flawed, many aspects of their conclusions are sound and consistent with our own prior findings. Over the years, internal agency reviews, including numerous investigations by our Office of the Inspector General, found fault in CIA's running of the program. We have acknowledged many of these mistakes in our response to the study last year, and I will touch on some of them today. Acknowledging our mistakes and absorbing the lessons of the past is fundamental to our ability to succeed in our mission and is one of the great strengths of this organization. Even today, we know there are further organizational improvements to be made as a result of our review of the study, and we are pursuing them. As I have already noted, the CIA was unprepared to conduct a detention and interrogation program, and our officers inadequately developed and monitored its initial activities. The agency failed to establish quickly the operational guidelines needed to govern the entire effort. In a limited number of cases, agency officers used interrogation techniques that had not been authorized, were abhorrent, and rightly should be repudiated by all. And we fell short when it came to holding some officers accountable for their mistakes. It is vitally important to recognize, however, that the overwhelming majority of officers involved in the program at CIA carried out their responsibilities faithfully and in accordance with the legal and policy guidance they were provided. CIA officers' actions that did comport with the law and policy should neither be criticized nor conflated with the actions of the few who did not follow the guidance issued. I have already stated that our reviews indicate that the detention and interrogation program produced useful intelligence that helped the United States thwart attack plans, capture terrorists, and save lives. But let me be clear. We have not concluded that it was the use of EITs within that program that allowed us to obtain useful information from detainees subjected to them. The cause and effect relationship between the use of EITs and useful information subsequently provided by the detainee is, in my view, unknowable. Irrespective of the role EITs might play in a detainee's provision of useful information, I believe effective non-coercive methods are available to elicit such information. Information from the individuals who were subjected to EITs provided information that was used in that. Again, I am not going to attribute that to the use of the EITs, just going to state as a matter of fact the information that they provided was used. This be happening. Many of my foreign counterparts over the past week to allow them opportunity to prepare for the release of this document in the event that there was going to be any implications for them as a result of either information that was contained in this document and then could be correlated with other information that is out there, and which leads to speculation about what their countries, their governments, their services might have done. And so, yes, I've spoken to many of them, and there was strong concern. There are things that we do with our partner services under our authorities that we have covert action authorities, and covert is something that they were hoping that was going to remain such. But what I've told them is that it's important for our partnership to move forward and to strengthen in the years ahead because of the nature of the national security challenges we face. And so I am interested in making sure that we're able to do that. As far as morale here at the agency, this is a tremendous, tremendous workforce, as I said. I had a session with the agency workforce yesterday, and I talked about the importance of the mission. And the CIA's mission is as important today as it was before this report came out, and it's going to be even more important tomorrow. And one of the great things about this workforce is it's able to focus on what it is that they're asked to do. The CIA officers are operating in some very, very dangerous places and are doing this on behalf of their fellow Americans. And so there is some concern and disappointment about what has happened. There certainly is concern about the misrepresentations that they think are circulating now out in the public, but they are determined to make sure that they're able to do what they need to do.
Director Brennan, Catherine Herridge, Fox News, thank you for taking my question. Have you heard from our allies overseas since the report was released? The impact on these relationships? Has it reinforced the view that the United States government cannot keep a secret? What has the impact been on morale here at the agency? And in 2005, interrogation videotapes were destroyed. Was that the right thing to do?
I have spoken to many of my foreign counterparts over the past week to allow them opportunity to prepare for the release of this document in the event that there was going to be any implications for them as a result of either information that was contained in this document and then could be correlated with other information that is out there, and which leads to speculation about what their countries, their governments, their services might have done. And so, yes, I've spoken to many of them, and there was strong concern.